Gran Turismo is its 15th anniversary this year, since the very first one came out in 1997. To celebrate that, we have this program called the Vision GT program, where we have various car manufacturers, design studios work together with us to come up with an inspiration concept car that inspired by Gran Turismo. And in the Aston Martin case, our engineers worked with Aston Martin designers and came up with this DP-100. Fantastic, futuristic-looking Aston Martin concept car, and we had the privilege to include that in our latest update of the game, Gran Turismo 6.
I've known Kazunori-san for some time, and he asked us to get involved with a celebration of Gran Turismo. So we thought we'd give him a concept that no one has seen before. So we decided to do DP-100, which is the first mid-engine Aston Martin since the Bulldog concept car from the 80s. I wanted to show something that we don't typically do. I wanted to show something which really showed the stretch of the brand and was an inspiration for the design team and how we create and generate our ideas. And what more perfect way to do it than virtually, because the car has been designed from the ground up. It all works. We have to figure out suspension, weight, power, performance, how the car feels, how it steers, weight balance, brake balance, aerodynamics. All of those things have gone into this virtual car, and it just felt right to do something which wasn't our typical layout for an Aston Martin. A designer loves the pressure of a timeline, and that's the greatest thing. And particularly with something like this, where you don't have the production issues, you haven't got the manufacturing issues, we haven't got legislation to think about in such great detail. It allows, the design mind to be more creative and think of things that you wouldn't typically do. It's a mid-mounted V12 6 litre, but it's turbocharged. Again, just because of the power and the delivery of power that we wanted. We've done a 50-50 weight distribution and weight bias, if you like, to the car as well. And a really beautiful engine layout also, in terms of how the manifolds have been created, where the air comes in, because we wanted a beautiful sound to the car as well. Theoretically, the car has almost 700 brake horsepower, and that would give us a performance of around 3.2 in a 0 to 60 time as well. So the car is very, very light. It's just over 1,200 kilos.
It is the wildest car within the Aston Martin lineup. It's very fast. Since it has a hybrid aspect to it, you can hear different noises from the engine, and you gotta really be experienced with the game, because if you don't know what you're doing, well, once you're in the car kind of takes off, and it's if you don't know how to brake early enough, you'll be hitting the walls and stuff. But then if you know what you're doing in the game, it's a joy to drive. It kind of reminds me on when Formula cars started appearing in the game first, when I had that experience, that rush through your body, the excitement. I kind of feel that when I drive this car in the game.
The wheels themselves, again, the faster you go, then what you really need from a wheel is a flat disc. But obviously when you're driving slowly and going through a slow cornering system, you need to cool the brakes. You need to feed air through the wheels to the brakes. So we have this unusual turbine system whereby at slow speeds the turbine's open to suck air in, and at high speeds the turbine's closed to provide a flat disc, which is perfect for the aerodynamics post 200 miles an hour. Lights are as minimal as we could get them on the front. So again, they're air cooled as well, so that's a cooling duct through the lights. And if you look at the back of the car, the rear of the car, we have a typical C graphic, which is really representative of Aston Martin. But what we've done is deconstruct the light, if you like, and there are tiny light pipes which would normally be hidden by a lens, which actually form the light. So they're like at the end of these thin strips of LED. It's all a deconstructed element at the back of the car. An Aston Martin has a face. An Aston Martin always has an Aston Martin grille. And if you look at the front of the car, it's based around what we would call our S curvature. But that S curvature is generating all the form and the language at the front of the car. But it's there not just for the looks, it's also there for aerodynamics, and it's there to cool the radiator packs as well, so that the mouth is actually exactly right in terms of the amount of air that's needed to cool the front of the car. We also have a side strake. So our side strake in this instance is the whole of the body side of the car. It has this wonderful section, this kind of V section, if you like, which is the whole side strake, which runs in to the rear line of the car and the haunches and the shoulder, which is typically Aston Martin. But because it's mid-engine, typically you need a massive aperture or inlet intake to cool the engine. But we've hidden all of that underneath these flying buttresses. So it forces air into the engine. It allows us this very pure, simple Aston Martin aesthetic to the side, because we stand for power, beauty and soul, and purity is part of that. It's an experiment, if you like. This is a great partnership with Gran Turismo, so we're allowed to show what we think of a future design for Aston Martin through the virtual game. But there are things like the rear lights, the way we've treated the rear lights, the simple side section, the way the face is very different to our typical face but still recognised, that might find their way into production cars of the future. For us, it's a sketch pad, if you like. This is a way of sketching the future without committing to tooling or to the process of actually developing the car.
Kazunori Yamauchi, the creator of the Gran Turismo series, it was always his dream to work closer with car manufacturers and someday even build a car together. And he's actually partially accomplished that by working with Nissan, with the GTR, Citroën. They work with the design team to create a concept car with them. But Vision GT is kind of a step to work with designers to come up with concept cars that can, you never know, maybe one day make it into production. And we have like 26 manufacturers working with us right now, and maybe one day, you never know, the DP-100 may come to life one day. So
I never say never. You know, we've done things like CC100, the 177, that were pretty special products through Q, and you never know. Here is a mid-engine car in concept and layout for Gran Turismo, but never say never.